10 countries that fought wars among themselves and are now in good relationship. Number 1. US versus Japan. The war between the United States and Japan was a key part of World War II in the Pacific Theater, beginning with the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by Japan on December 7, 1941. This event led to the U.S. declaring war on Japan the following day, entering the global conflict. The war concluded with Japan's surrender on September 2, 1945. The U.S. used atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to Japan's surrender. Japanese military deaths are estimated at 1,834,000, with 1,740,000 killed or missing. Civilians' deaths in Japan, particularly due to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Battle of Okinawa, also reached into the million, whilst the U.S. suffered around 111,606 military deaths in World War II, with additional 253,140 to wounded. World War II contributed to the division of Europe into Democratic Western Bloc, led by the US, and Communist Eastern Bloc, led by the Soviet Union. The war reshaped the global balance of power, with the US and the Soviet Union emerging as superpowers. The relationship now, US and Japan now have strong allies, with Japan hosting most U.S. military bases such as Yokota Air Base, Yokosuka Naval Base, and others. Number 2. U.S. versus Vietnam. In 1965, the USA launched Operation Rolling Thunder, the bombing of military targets in North Vietnam, in which the war ended with a U.S. withdrawal and communist victory. The war resulted in the death of 58,000 Americans and the death of Vietnamese, ranging from 1 to 4 million. 700,000 American veterans were affected. The war made the U.S. spend over $100 billion. The use of chemical weapons like Agent Orange caused widespread deforestation and farmland destruction, with long-term health problems, including birth defects, cancer, and diabetes, for generations of Vietnamese people. The war forced millions of Vietnamese to become refugees. The relationship now. Vietnam now enjoys strong diplomatic and economic ties, with the U.S. being a major trading partner. In 2024, the U.S. is Vietnam's second-largest trading partner, whilst Vietnam is the U.S.'s 8th largest trading partner, with total bilateral trade reaching $149.6 billion. Number 3. Japan versus Korea. The history of Japan and Korea includes periods of both conflict and cooperation, with the most notable conflict being the Imjin War 1592 to 1598 and the Korean War 1950 to 1953. Japan annexed Korea in 1910, and its rule ended with the end of World War II in 1945. Korean War. Conflict between North Korea and South Korea, in which at least 2.5 million persons lost their lives. The war reached international proportions in June 1950, when North Korea, supplied and advised by the Soviet Union, invaded the South. The United Nations, with the United States as the principal participant, joined the war on the side of the South Koreans, and the People's Republic of China came to North Korea's aid. The war ended in an armistice, leaving Korea divided into North and South Korea. The relationship now. Japan and South Korea share many cultural, economic, and military ties. Their economies are respectively the second and fourth largest in Asia, and they are both military allies of the United States. Number 4. China versus Russia. The term China versus Russia war usually refers to the Sino-Soviet border conflict of 1969. This was a series of armed clashes between China and the Soviet Union over disputed territories. In the mid-1960s, the conflict, which lasted for 7 months, was a result of growing ideological differences and territorial disputes between the two communist powers. On March 2, 1969, when Chinese troops ambushed Russian troops on the uninhabited Damansky Island in the USS Uri River, killing 32 Russians, the Soviets responded on the night of March 14 by shelling 20 kilometers into China. Approximately 60 Russians and 800 Chinese were killed in the conflict. The relationship now. China and Russia now cooperate on economic and military issues, often opposing Western policies. Number 5. France versus Germany. France and Germany have a history of conflict, with significant wars occurring in 1870 to 1871 Franco-Prussian War, 1914 to 1918 World War I, and 1940 to 1945 World War II, including the Battle of France. The Franco-Prussian War led to the unification of Germany. While both world wars involved major battles on French territory, the French suffered a death toll of 139,000, whilst the Germans faced a death toll of 51,000. The relationship now. After the World War II, France and Germany became close allies through the European Union, Mutual Defense Agreement, Aachen Treaty, and NATO. Number 6. UK versus Ireland. The UK versus Ireland War primarily refers to the Irish War of Independence, 1919 to 1921, a conflict between the Irish Republican Army (IRA) and British forces. This war, part of the Irish Revolutionary period, aimed to achieve Irish independence from the United Kingdom. Some 3,600 people were killed, and more than 30,000 more were wounded before a peaceful solution. The relationship now. The Good Friday Agreement on the 10th of April 1998 significantly improved relations and governance between UK and Ireland. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more videos.